Welcome to the Pixelberry Choices podcast. Today we're going to be talking about chapter 10 of the Unexpected Heiress book, and it is at a very interesting point right now. So, we are in Aunt Maud's place in London, and we have learned about Amelia's secrets. That Amelia got into the causes in the political things, and she wanted change, and she sort of became a rebel rouser against the British embassy, against the British crown, and how they used to rule all over the world against all of those things. And she joined some of the causes and parties, and that's probably why she died, because he also received a letter threatening to quit this thing we're doing, to quit the investigation of our sister's death. Otherwise, we will receive the same treatment as our sister did. Then, after discussing this with John and Effie, we go to People's March in a play that we learned in that about Amelia in that dance place we went in the last book. So we go there and we see really the nooks and crannies of London. And this is not a place where rich people live, but people who work under some rich folks or in a factory, they live on those places. And it is really dense, and people are hanging their clothes on a rope, they're on the street. So Effie tells us about that, and as you approach, we hear people talking about, and the speaker also saying how the British Emperor and the Crown are tyrant, and in India, South Africa, and other places, how they're causing riots, famine riots, and other crises, bad law reforms, and torturing people, natives and stuff. So we learn all those things. But soon, a Bobby, some police officer and constable, they start charging them and start calling them rabble rouser and try to break the protest. As usually happens in those cases, we learned about that in the last chapter, and I also talk about those in the last video. But at that time, a police officer comes to our main character. I personally chose to step on his feet, and so he grabs us, but then John comes and saves us, but he gets brutally injured. And then we get a diamond scene. John takes our main character and Effie out of the danger, but we do get a diamond scene to tend to John and to learn about his secrets, about his dead fiancée Victoria. So we go to his our room in Aunt Maud's place, and we start taking care of John. And then John tells that she's really fond of our main character, but that scene scared him because all the people John cared about, they ended up dead, or they ended up hurting themselves, like John's parents, John's sister, John's fiance. So we learned that John was out on a posting in India, and then he came back. He learned that his fiance was dead because he was in the Titanic ship. His fiance, not him, but his fiance Victoria with her father was in the Titanic ship, and that's how she died. So this is John's story, and that's why John has the wall up and doesn't want to let anyone close to him because he thinks he'll hurt everybody. And on the contrary, our main character also thinks that our main character's mother's death, and now main character's sister death, like how main character's sister died, it's all because of main character. So I think main character and John, they have seen a lot of tragedy together. So sort of they being together, it's just a perfect match in the book. Even with Gemma and Hughes, all the love interest, the bonding with main character is super awesome in this book. Then we get ready to go to the debutante hall or ball, and then we meet there with Francis and others like Gemma and Hughes. And Hughes tells us about a postman. He had all the letters that Amelia didn't receive, and he was going to burn the letters because those letters have been there for a long time. So in the diamond scene, we can go to the post office and get the letters and learn some guy named Percy threatening Amelia. We get back and we look for a Percy, then we run into some nobles and see one of the guys, Vincent, really treating his wife horribly. And we remember Amelia once spoke for that wife, and Vincent got angry. So we saw that scene for ourselves again, and a lot of rich people were there who were not really pleased with Heiress or American women. So we also witnessed that. But then we get to have a dance with one of the love interests of our choice. I chose to dance with John, but after a bit, John said that John and main character shouldn't be together because our main character is destined to marry Francis, so it would jeopardize everything. So John needs some time. He goes away from that place and we find Francis. Francis gives us a crown that he gave to Amelia so that the crown will remember us of Amelia and we can be close to Amelia through that, and we can also add this to the vanity collection, the mirror. Also in a dimension we get to see how fond and closer our main character's sister Amelia and Francis were. And I think this little moment, so Amelia was really in love with Francis and their relationship was like an arranged marriage, but still it was special. As Francis says, he fell in love instantly almost, but Amelia took the time and their relationship was really special. So I think these scenes are really special where we see Amelia and Francis together, and I think these scenes play a very important role because we get to know about the kind of relationship they shared, Amelia and Francis, and how vividly Francis misses Amelia and what special relationship they held, and how Amelia was afraid of something even at that time and didn't want to bother or put Francis in danger. So it's important for the clue aspect and also for the emotional bonding aspect between Francis and Amelia. And then the most important thing happens. The attaché comes in and we get to know that attache's name is Percy. So he is the Percy, and then we sort of greet him and we don't let it show that we are high, so we are related to Amelia, and we instantly, after talking a little bit to this Percy guy, we get to know that this guy is a douchebag and he is the attaché for England or the British Emperor to India. So definitely he's one of those monsters John hates, and Amelia and people's protests and all those groups were fighting against, or he also even against women's march, all sorts of things that a progressive society should have. So he pretends that he knows our main character because, oh well, he's a douchebag. So seeing a lady, that's what he just plays it cool. But there was someone else. After Percy invites us to a cricket match, in the next chapter we're gonna find it out about the cricket match. But this guy who was also with Percy introduces us as Miss Heiress. So he instantly, and the colors from his face just faded away. He just became angry from a civil gentleman or whatever game he was playing. He stopped because he came to know he was our main character was Amelia'S sister. And also he invited to the cricket match, and this Percy guy John is definitely really wary about him, and John knows that this guy could be the one behind Amelia'S death, and our main character also knows that, and we will have to go to a cricket match and probably play cricket because that's what the description says. And there's another Witherington guy who is even senior than this Percy guy, and probably Amelia pissed both of them and that's why she had to die. We'll find that out in the next chapter. So next chapter we're gonna have to go to a cricket match, and some of the British representatives in India will also come to play, and one of them, like I said, is with Percy and who probably Amelia pissed off. So those tyrants will be there. We'll have to take them down in the cricket match first, and then we'll have to figure out how they played a role in Amelia'S death. That's in the next chapter. I'll see you then, but till then, peace out.